friends, and welcome back to our homestead. This is Christmas season, and that means it's cookie baking season. And so many of us who are trying to lose a few pounds are very sad because we cannot enjoy the cookies. So I have some hope for you, because today I'm going to be making a cookie that is not made with white flour and white sugar. It's going to be made with almond flour and monk fruit sugar. And I have brown monk fruit sugar, but you can use white as well. So today I'm going to be making my version of almond cookie, Italian cookie, Ricciarelli. So it calls for fine sugar or powdered sugar. So because monk fruit is a little bit more on the coarse side, let me guys show you. It looks just like regular sugar. See, it has like feel of a regular sugar. So I'm actually gonna put it in a coffee grinder. I need a half a cup. Let me just scoop a half a cup, and I'm gonna be putting it in the regular coffee grinder, and I'm going to attempt to make sugar powder out of it. Okay, let me just close it up. All right, so it's gonna be noisy for a minute. Maybe if I plugged it in, that would have helped. Okay. All right, let's see what's inside. Whoo! Dusty. Oh, very fine. So there you go, boys and girls. You can create monk fruit powder. It looks slightly off color because it's a brown type of monk fruit. If this was a white monk fruit, sugar would have been all white. Okay, so I need to measure out half a cup of monk fruit powder. So I just need a half of it. Hopefully I will not make too much mess here on my kitchen counter, but even if I did, it's okay because it's my own kitchen counter and it's all about delicious cookies. Okay, let me show you the ingredients we're going to need for this keto cookie. Okay, so we're going to need 2 cups of keto almond flour, and I purchased this. It's already fine grounded, found ground almond flour. So I'm going to need 2 cups of that. Then I'm going to need half a cup of some sort of a fine sugar, and in this case I'm using monk fruit, and we just guys saw how we pulverized it. Okay, then I'm going to need 3 drops of almond extract, just 3 drops. Okay, then we're going to need some blanched almond pieces, and that's what's going to go outside to decorate our cookies, and I have about half a cup in here. I'm gonna need 2 egg whites, only 2 egg whites. I don't need a whole egg, just 2 egg whites. And then I'm gonna need zest of either an orange or a lemon. So it's up to you what you wanna use. And it's only a zest, not juice, only zest. And what else? That's it, really. So these Ricciarelli cookies are calling usually for a dried cherry or some other dried fruit. We're going to omit that because we're making this keto. Okay, so let's start making it. First things first, I'm going to be mixing my dried ingredients in the bowl, and I'm going to be putting 2 cups of almond flour or almond meal in my mixing bowl, and you'll notice that it's a little bit almost like clumpy, but it's okay because it's gonna break down everything. So 2 cups of almond. Let me make sure I get everything from the bottom. 2 cups. Oh, about 2 cups. All right, awesome. To this I'm going to be adding my sugar. All right, my monk fruit sugar powder, and I'm going to be mixing that all together, making sure that everything is broken up. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention? We need a pinch of salt, because salt, believe it or not, is an important ingredient when we're baking, because it actually brings out the flavors of the sweet ingredients. So let me just grab the salt, and we literally just need a pinch, or like 1/8 of a teaspoon. So I'm just gonna grab my salt, 1.5 little crack in here. Salt is in here, incorporated, all mixed up. All right. So now we need to get the zest of an orange or a lemon. And you can guys choose which one you want. So I'm just gonna take my zester, and all I need is just the yellow part of the orange in here, and it just brings out a really nice aroma of a holiday. Oh, it's so good. So when I was 16 years old, long time ago, and when my family were immigrating from the former Soviet Union to the United States, part of the immigration process was to move and through Italy. Let me tell you, spending Christmas time in Italy and New Year was the most amazing time of my life. All right, the most amazing time of my life. And that's when I first encountered Italian cooking, Italian recipes. Because see, during the Soviet time, the Soviet Union was closed off from the rest of the world, and we did not ever even heard of lasagna or Parmesan cheese or any other delicious pastry such as tiramisu or any French cooking or any other, really, because we were closed off. So I'm just gonna mix that all together here with my dried ingredients. All right, so now I need to go to the next step, and the next step will be to work on the eggs. So I need to whip them up and create a meringue out of those egg whites, only egg whites. We don't need egg yolks in this recipe at all. So I just need to separate the eggs yolk from egg white. All right, I just want to show you guys something. We ran out of home eggs. So this is what, look how dark home egg yolks are. And this one came from the store. Do you guys see the difference? Oh my gosh. My lady's not laying much because of winter. So we ended up buying some, and I feel terrible buying eggs right now. All right, so I'm just separating, and I need to make sure that there's absolutely no egg yolk in here at all, because if there's any fat from egg yolk, it will not turn into peaks of meringue. So I'm gonna start on low for about 60 seconds, and then I will increase it to high. All right, so it's getting a little fluffier. At this time, I'm gonna be adding 3 drops, and I'm not kidding, only 3 drops, because this extract is so strong. So 1, 2, 3, that's it. And it's gonna add a nice little flavor of almond extract. And this point, I can turn it up to high until I get nice and soft peaks. All right, let's see. See how the peaks are not falling? And somebody taught me once to know if the meringue is done, if you take the bowl and you flip it upside down, nothing is falling. See? Nothing is falling. All right, so at this point, I'm going to be mixing my wet ingredients into the dough, and I'm going to be quickly and gently mixing my cookie dough. Now, as far as the cookie dough, it should be soft, but it should not stick to my hands too much. If it's still sticking to my hands, then I can sprinkle a little bit more almond flour, just a little bit, maybe a tablespoon or 2, just to get all that incorporated. All right, so let me just gently mix it all together. Now, baking with monk fruit is different than baking with sugar and regular plain sugar. And the reason for that is not because, oh, you know, the sweetness, what's the difference? No, it's because the sugar itself will create a certain chemical reaction with other ingredients and will create a cookie, soft and gooey inside. Monk fruit may not do that. And as a matter of fact, you're supposed to put less monk fruit into the recipe than if you were using regular sugar. Why? Because, let me just scoop all that in there, because it can actually crystallize and create a hard cookie. All right, so seems like we have dough ready. I turn the oven on to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. If you guys are using Celsius, it should be about 190. All right. So let's start forming them into a little cookie shape and put them on a cookie sheet. And I've got a parchment paper on top of a cookie sheet ready for me to go. Okay, so now I'm going to be creating a little tiny cookies out of these. I'm going to take a small little bowl, roll it in your hands. I'm going to press it a little bit to create what should resemble a cookie, okay? And it should be about 1 inch or so. And then I just roll it in a little bit of almond, crushed up almond, blanched almond, like this, and put it on a cookie sheet. So I'm going to keep making all of them, all right, while the oven is warming up to 375. Okay, I'm going to press it down a little bit, roll it again, next, all right. So now they're going to go in the oven, 375 degrees for about 13 to 15 minutes. You don't want them to be overly brown, but slightly toasted, okay? So this is what they look like right now. Let's check on them in about 13 minutes. All right, friends, keto version of Italian almond cookie Ricciarelli is done. So let's give it a taste, okay? So they cracked up on top just like they're supposed to. Let me break the inside. And inside they're nice and gooey. Look at that. Look how pretty. I'm just gonna give it a little taste. They're not as sweet as the regular version, but they're nice, very nice. I love the crunch on the outside and they're nice and gooey on the inside. Nice. So there is a hope for those who are on ketogenic diet on the holidays, at the holiday season. So make it without sugar, just use monk fruit and it's just as good and just as delicious. So friends, I hope you're not discouraged of staying away from the sugar, but in case, instead, be encouraged and try something new.